This week on the podcast, we are joined by two members of the band Atreyu. Dan Jacobs and Brandon Saller are our guests this week on the Rockman Power Hour. Welcome back to the Rockman Power Hour, a podcast where we talk to the most interesting people in the world of pop culture. Ryan Stick, my co-host, is with me. Ryan, how are you?
I'm wearing my pants on my sleeve today, Jason.
Literally, pants on your sleeve. Are you going to attempt a handstand? Because we talked about this last episode.
No, I want to show you this really cool pair of pants I got from Studio House Designs.
Okay, and if you're listening right now, you can find this over on our YouTube page if you just search the Rockman Power Hour, and you can take a look at Ryan's pants. Show us, Ryan. Now, these are sweatpants. They're not pants.
Yeah. Well, hey, one and the same. We talked about COVID casual last week.
These are very COVID casual.
I've worn sweatpants so much over the last few years, I call these skin.
But those are very cool. So those are the Lost Boys
skin
sweatpants from Studio House Designs. So let's see, on the top there's a bat, and then there's the crucifix. Okay, that the frog twins, right? What are they called? Frog Boys?
Frog Brothers
do with their fingers. There's the stop sign from Santa Clarita or Santa. I love that. I've got that shirt.
That goes with I'm jelly you had the shirt, man. It was like one of those things where I could choose one, and I decided to choose some pants because the pants I'm wearing are, they're wearing a little thin,
right?
It's time to take this. There's a deepener in my building, fashion sense to a new level, if you will. So now when I'm walking down the street, people are like, "Oh, he's wearing sweatpants," but they're amazing. So I think it's time to turn that frown upside down, that social frown upside down. Let's bring sweatpants back in a big bad way.
So check out Studio House Designs. I'm rocking an old school one, dude. This is the Pulp Fiction shirt. You can't get this anymore, but you never know. It might come back in another reissue. But I love this shirt so much.
It's very pulp. I like it.
It's very cool. So check out studiohousedesigns.com. You can find them online, and they make great t-shirts. And a big shout out to our sponsors, Heartbeat Hot Sauce, the heartbeat of the Rockman Power Hour. I decided to continue the trend of bringing half-used bottles on to show that I really use this stuff. And this is the one that gets the most usage in our house.
I hate to sound like a pessimist, but that is a bottle not even half full, man. You use that bottle.
I did. And this is the great dill pickle Serenaro. Excuse me. This is the dill pickle Serrano Serenaro. Good thing I don't work for Heartbeat. I mean, I associate myself with them, but man, if I was saying this is the Serrano, this is the dill pickle Saran wrap. No, this is the dill pickle Serrano. One of my favorites is a medium, so it's not that spicy, and it's so good, Ryan. It's so good. The dill pickle is one of my faves. So use our promo code Rockman20 right below, and you'll get 20% off your entire order, and you can use that code as many times as you like.
Yeah, and we're going to milk that around Christmas time. Seriously.
Oh man.
When you want a good old Christmas gift for somebody, a big box of hot sauce, they will love you for life.
Heartbeat Hot Sauce. Go check them out. Use our promo code Rockman20. And you know what? I was just perusing the bottle here. This is also gluten-free. So, so if you're gluten intolerant,
I did not know that.
It is
gluten-free. I did not know that.
Yeah, it is. So great. Look at the direction. Vinegar, onion, jalapeno, cucumber, serrano peppers, sea salt, garlic, dill, canola oil, spices, and mustard seed. That's it. So really good stuff. I
forgot the most important ingredient.
What?
Love.
Oh, God. All right. Speaking of love, we got a chance to talk to these guys in person. And it was so fun to do something in person because we've been doing so much of this stuff online. But every once in a while, the Rockman Power Hour will go out on the road, literally not far down the road. We went to the Beanfield Theater, which is formerly the Corona Theater. And we got to go on Atreyu's tour bus. And we got to talk to Dan and Brandon of the band. Ryan, I love this conversation because it was very insightful. It gave us a lot of kind of behind the scenes, pull back the curtain, if you will, to what it's like to be on the road. And these guys they're good dudes, man. Really, really good dudes. Atreyu is a good band, fun band, and man, their touring prospects of late have just been incredible. Touring with Godsmack, going on a co-headline tour with Memphis Mayfire, and then they're going to be heading. This is crazy, and I'm not sure when this airs, if they've done it already, but they're going to do dates, direct support for Iron Maiden in Western Canada. So Atreyu are definitely doing great, and they're a wonderful band, wonderful humans, and we got a chance to catch up with them live in Montreal right before the show on their tour bus. So Ryan, without any further ado, man, I want to jump right into this because I love this chat. I love these guys, Dan and Brandon, just great guys, and just a lot of fun. So our chat with Dan and Brandon from Atreyu. All right, we are here live on the Rockman Power Hour. It's great to be doing these live because we haven't been able to do this in a while, and I am joined by two of the members of Atreyu. I've got Brendan and Dan with me. Nice to catch up again. You and I have chatted before. I think it was Heavy Montreal a few years back. You guys are back out, new tour. It must feel good to be able to do this kind of stuff in person again.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, there's something about the human interaction that when you're face to face that you can't replicate through a Zoom or face to the story.
As convenient as Zoom is, there's nothing quite like coming into somebody's space, seeing somebody, feeling their energy. But we did say, the idea of opening up a Zoom and not having to wear pants is wonderful. And you invited me to not wear pants.
Yeah, it's not necessary in this bus, but if you do whatever makes you feel comfortable, I guess.
This is the first one we've done with pants on, actually. So this is different for us.
Yeah.
The one thing I've always liked about this band is, and it seems to be more and more like this as you're getting older in your career, you don't take yourselves too seriously. As serious as the music can be, and I'm sure that a lot of it is serious subject matter, and there can be a lot of heartache and a lot of pain that goes into the songs, you can still find a way to put a really, really fun twist on it.
I think a lot of times, like, as an artist, you leave that there. Like, I think music for us is somewhere where we take our feelings and the things we're going through and leave them in a song.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to, like, live with them the rest of your life, So it's like, if you hang around us, we're morons. Like, it's 24 hours a day, dick and fart jokes. But it's like you can't be serious all the time.
No.
Yeah. And I think for us too, it's something that we've never, outside of the way we portray ourselves in music videos and on stage, like we've always, like you said, we're just dick and fart jokes and joking around all the time. And we've never really, like embraced how silly we are to the audience as much and doing it on stage as much or in our music videos. It's always been kind of so serious. But we got to kind of this point where we're like, we're not really that serious. Like, why don't we just stop being so serious? Because we're not. And in doing so, it just feels a lot more natural and more fun, and it feels easier in a way, I think just being ourselves.
People can kind of sniff out, like, when you're being your genuine self, like, I think you notice that in people. And I think just you come to see us play, and it's like, you almost get a sense of like who we are, which makes it a more personal experience to people that are watching, I think. So,
well, yeah, and I think people like authenticity, especially in this day and age. Like everyone wears masks, everybody's hides behind something, and when you go and you see a band you like, and they're able to be like, hey, I am having a bad day, or I did eat that cheeseburger, and I don't give a fuck, or whatever it is. It just makes people feel like I can relate to them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think overall, from even from a marketing strategy, it probably really helps a band gain popularity and have people go like, hey, I can relate to that, rather than, yes, there's something to be said about mystery and something about, like you get a band that has some mystique around them, and yes, that can be the popularity and that can be the thing. But when you can really, sink your teeth into somebody's personality through their music or through their stage, it's a nice thing.
We've never had like the character mystique thing in our band, and I think it's one of those things where like you just think about the world, like it's a lot more normal people than there are cool people.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's like we're in a band and we get to do something cool, and it's not lost on us that like we're obviously doing something right because we've been around for this long, but it's like we're just people like you. We're just do something that you like. So we'll just be that person.
Yeah, and I think that's inspiring to people in the sense because they're like, man, these guys are so normal. Like, if they can do something like this, like I can do something like this, which,
Yeah, for sure. We were talking briefly about meet and greets, and just the effort that bands put into meet and greets. You guys are doing a meet and greet together with your tour mates. Tell me a bit about how the logistics was putting that together, and how do you find it different? Is it in terms of energy?
I think it's cooler. Like it's funny because usually we'll do something like a acoustic set, or maybe they get to watch sound check.
Yeah.
We want to always include something that you don't get to see otherwise. Logistically speaking, when you're doing a co-headlining tour, it kind of makes it difficult because everyone's got their different times for different things. So
Sure.
doing it together was kind of a cool experience for like all of our fans to come together. And some people have questions for Memphis, some people have questions for us, some people have for both, and it's very interactive, and you really kind of get more activity from all of the band, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, getting to watch both the bands interact with each other, I think, is something that people find fascinating as well. It's just how do these two bands like do in a room together, as opposed to we just kind of be awkward on one side and they're awkward on the other side. But we've known them for years. We've toured with them before, and we're all very friendly with them. So it's fun just to get to kind of bounce stuff off of each other, as well as whoever's in these VIP meet and greets. I mean, we make sure that everyone's asking a question, as well as sometimes we even ask them questions, and it makes it feel like a very personable situation as opposed to this really stiff, like, oh man, I'm so nervous, like I don't know what to say. It's like, no, we're gonna make this comfortable for you and make it fun.
And it's also guaranteed hang time for all of you together, because probably, as most people know, on tour, sometimes you're just passing each other, like, oh yeah, I'll see you in the next city. Let's grab dinner. Oh, I didn't have time. We had our meet and greet. But this way you guys can all kind of
hang out together.
You guys have mentioned that there's a lot of really cool. Can I talk about all the touring stuff we talked about before? Okay, so you came off doing some dates with Godsmack. You're going to go do more dates, and you're going to be going out with the mighty Iron Maiden.
Yeah, in Canada.
That's crazy. Western Canada with Iron Maiden. Is there anything about going out with Iron Maiden that still is it still a daunting task, or at this point, like we kind of mentioned, you just go out there and do your thing?
I feel like where we were the last time we were with Iron Maiden maybe wasn't as much of a confident spot, and especially like going to do something like that for the first time.
Sure.
We had not yet done many like stadium shows or like tons of arena shows, so it's kind of a little bit gnarly. I think that it's going to be a lot more fun this time. I think Canadians are very polite.
Yeah, they are.
So I think that's going to be on our side. But for me, it's like redemption. It's like, can we go back 15 years and see if we can do a better job than we did last time? Not that we did a bad job last time, but it was just like I was saying earlier, like members of Iron Maiden watched our shows before and we're like, hey guys, congratulations, you finished your set. And we're like, I don't understand. It's like most bands don't even get to finish their set.
That's stamp of approval, man.
Yeah, so I'm stoked. It makes me want to just go and do our thing and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, playing shows like that, when you first start off, like anything, the Fibonacci sequence, you start off small and things get bigger as things progress,
Sure.
So it takes, you start off small and you tour small and you learn that, and then you eventually earn your way up to the next level and you tour around that and you eventually learn that. And like, not a lot of people get the opportunity to tour on the level of doing arenas and stadiums and things like that. It's an amphitheaters. It's a whole nother beast skill set. It's a whole other skill set that you don't realize until you get to that level of just trying to command a crowd that size and trying to keep that many people entertained, as opposed to them being right up in your face. It's a little more disconnected in a way because everybody's so far away you can't even really see everyone, and a lot of what they're seeing of you is up on a big screen or something. Sure. So it's a totally different game. I mean, we were even up there, sometimes looking at the corner of your eye and you'll see that you're up on the big screen. You're like, oh, I'm gonna pose a little bit more. Like,
I look cool.
I look cool.
And sometimes when you're far, there's that slight delay with the video and what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's a very strange experience when you watch it too. And I imagine, a lot of bands I talk to that go on big tours like that, when they do get to do a sweaty club tour, they just can't wait to get back into that environment where it's just like you're feeling it.
They both have very redeeming qualities. Like, it's funny to go from, the last week or so was at Godsmack, it's big arenas or amphitheaters.
Yeah.
And, this is a 1,000 capacity club that will be almost packed to the gills tonight.
Yeah.
So it's like going to that polar opposite, but like a really good example of that polar opposite. It's going to be fun.
I was going to say that I think the thing that we've learned over the years that really makes a show amazing in a lot of cases, it's not how many people are there, it's the amount of people within the size of the space being used.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you put 400 people in a 5,000 capacity room, they're sprinkled all over the energy. That show is going to be terrible.
No matter how crazy they're going.
No matter how crazy they're going. But if you take those exact same people and you put them in a 350 capacity room and you squeeze 400 people in there, it's going to be bananas. And the energy's so concentrated, you can just feel it, spilling out everywhere from the band, from the crowd and whatnot. And yeah, it really comes down to if you go to a show and it's too spread out, like it loses the energy. And the ones that are like, oh my God, that was amazing, are usually ones that are a little bit more confined.
How many shows in are you right now on this run? Like, would you say
2.5 weeks?
This is like 15 shows, 10,
10
Right.
maybe.
12, yeah.
About 10 in. Yeah.
A lot of people say when you get on the road, especially if it's been a little while, probably about 5-6 shows in is when you just start to get that confidence, like that.
You definitely fall into a groove. I
Yeah.
think luckily for us, like this tour was rough for us because one, we started like myself and our bass player both moved right the month before we started this tour. So I moved from Southern California to Nashville. He moved from Alabama to Germany.
Wow.
So we
Okay.
both kind of got to this tour and we're just like, what day is it? You know, like
Yeah,
whirlwind, you know?
yeah.
And then when we started, I got sick day one. So the first like 3 or 4 shows, I was kind of dealing with that. So it was like getting the groove it was like kind of harder to get the groove.
Yeah.
But then we did the Godsmack shows and that's when it all started to like click.
To click.
So not only did I think I think the rest of the tour is going to be arguably more fun for us and the audience because
Sure.
like we got our groove
Yeah.
on giant stages with a lot of people and big production and like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a nice place to like
Yeah.
sink in.
You get that little kind of get that arena swagger that
The arena swagger.
arena swagger that we
You
can
walk
bring
off
back into
stage
the
in
clubs.
a different way when you
Yeah.
play arenas.
No, no,
You do.
definitely.
It's it's a very interesting, almost spiritual experience. You know, playing in front of that many people.
Everyone, it's been kind of like this, not buzzword, but it's kind of been like the buzz subject that's been going on since the pandemic ended and since bands have been going out on the road. Everyone's been talking about how hard it is to tour now and how much more
Yeah.
expensive it is and everything's more
Yeah.
expensive. So when you go out on a co-headline, are you guys able to, to share expenses like backline production, like things like that? Or are there things that make it easier when you go out on a co-headline?
Sometimes you can. On this particular tour, we're not, just because, one, I think us in Memphis, we want to like really bring something unique. We've done it before. We've done like, a handful of years back, we did a co-headline Motionless in White. We shared the production, had the same LD. It was like the same kind of everything. And it was cool, but it's like you're sort of watching the same show twice. Like obviously different bands, but it's like, they have a lot of their own stuff that they use, but I almost like the little difference. It definitely would be nice financially to share some things, but it's all kind of spread out on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunately, it's the prices of everything have gone up, even
Yeah.
from just getting the buses to getting the crew to getting
And bus shortages, I've been hearing.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
yeah.
before you would get a choice of a bus, and now it's like, well, this is what you got.
We
Yeah.
confirmed this bus, and this was the option, the one option.
Yeah.
We confirmed this bus 3 days before we went on tour. It didn't come till midnight of the second show. So the first show was local. It was like a festival in Orange County, so
Right.
we didn't need it.
Yeah.
We drove and stayed at my house
Second
because it was
show
like up by where we were going for
Was
the
in
next
Southern
show.
California.
What was the last
also.
time you guys all stayed up somebody's
Yeah,
house before?
not-
Like I had started a tour a long time, right?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Must have been fun though, in a way.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, Memphis, this is their second bus of the tour.
Right.
So yeah, it's a mess. And even like, it's funny too for like fans of our band, like if you go see a band and there's anything on that stage that they brought, whether it's cabinets or any sort of lighting or anything, it's like you have to understand how much that band is putting in to do
yeah.
that. Like we could very well just show up and play a show and it would be a good show.
Yeah.
And we could bring a light guy to make the house stuff look good, but it's like we want to put
you wanna
something
give a
the
show.
best we can. And, so it's like when you go see bands and they actually have things going on, you see them bring in production, like know that that's for you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
It's bands that actually care about what they're doing.
And I think in a way, you guys bands are in really a weird spot now because everybody's vying for the spectator's dollar. Everybody's got like something flashy over
But
here.
yeah,
for you
it has to be
grab.
worth it.
So to go up and just play a stripped down show. I mean, I think the only people that could play a stripped down show and people would lose their shit would be a band like Metallica. I've seen Metallica
Yeah.
go play into a club or the Stones, but I mean, that's
It's
just
a
because it's a
one-time-
UT.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, everyone's got to amp everything up.
Yeah.
So it's a weird position where you have to really be creative with everything.
Yeah.
Across
You gotta
the
make it
board.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the most bang for your buck and make it as interesting as possible, as affordably as possible, so you don't just go home broke. Which some bands still do anyways. Even on the biggest level. Like,
Yeah.
I know Miley Cyrus is talking about her tour. She's literally not making anything on the tour, and she's like, I don't even care. I'm putting every dollar I've got into the production being absolutely unreal, so that people are like gonna come back, and she's investing in the bigger picture. But
Sure. And I think it's also a time that we're living through, and then once we get past that, it'll be a little bit easier.
Of course, yeah. The world's got to kind of play catch up a bit.
Going back to the Iron Maiden thing, have you had interactions? I mean, you've said, some people have said, it's good that you finish your set, but have you had a member come, like a Steve Harris come knock on your door and go, "Good job, guys"?
I mean, it was Steve Harris and Nico that watched our set in Mexico.
Okay.
And those are the dudes that were like, you kind of catch them and you're like, oh shit. they're watching us play, and it was and that was the coolest thing, because for me, it's like, there's not many bands, especially metal bands on Earth, that are as top tier as Iron Maiden.
Well, there's Maiden, there's Priest, Metallica. Yeah,
Metallica, I think, obviously the biggest, but it's like they're a god tier band. So we came off stage and they're not only like great show guys, whatever, blah blah. Like, you had 50,000 people in a stadium chanting Maiden.
Yeah,
and maybe 5,000 of them really loved us, but the other ones just wanted Maiden.
Right.
But I remember one of the cool things is that they were like, hey, like, just so you know, like, we wanted you here. So you're here because we wanted you.
And that's
here.
it's like Metallica has only bands that they want to.
like,
they're not getting forced. They're not getting buy-ons. They do what they want.
And it's the same thing. Like, we got these shows, like, oh, hey, Maiden wants you to do these 3 shows. And we're like, cool, who else is on them? I'm like, oh, we're not sure, but, here's your slot, whatever. And it was like, cool. And then the shows came out, and it's just us and Maiden.
Immediate support.
There's no other bands.
Wow.
Just us, yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's one of those things.
Which is even more, we're like, what?
That feels cool, though, to be like,
us?
damn, like,
All right.
okay.
Were you have you been able to meet Bruce?
I haven't met Bruce yet, no.
But my cousin used to date his son back in the day. So my cousins are English, so they live in England.
I've toured with his son's band.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's Austin Dickinson.
Is it the kind of thing where you could like have a band picture at the end, like a combined photo with?
We were
them?
joking about that.
You should push for it. You should ask.
We always say, we never take band photos anymore. We're going to do 3 shows.
Tour photos.
Like, hey guys, love to get together at the end of the tour photo. It's like, guys, you can play 3 shows.
Yeah, I know, but it would be nice to get the photo. And I'm sure if you would ask,
I'm sure we could. Yeah.
We talk about Iron Maiden, you talk about Godsmack, big bands. Is there any band? And I mean, Maiden's so big, it's like. But is there a band that you've wanted to tour with that it's escaped you so far? Even if it isn't that big of a band, but just a band you'd say, like, I'd love to spend 6 weeks with this band or 3 weeks.
Oh man, I mean, I'll take Def Leppard or the Scorpions.
Yeah,
any day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go more modern. Shinedown's a band I've always wanted to tour with for.
That seems pretty.
Decade.
Yeah,
we've come close, and I know those guys, and like they're just like a legitimately like cool band, really good dudes. Like, I know the way that they tour and the way they treat people. I know they would just be.
All right, so we got to put it out there. Shinedown, bring Atreyu out with them.
Let's go.
It's got to happen. Got to make it. It'll happen.
And then Def Leppard.
Def Leppard too.
Let's do a tour together. Us, Shinedown, Def Leppard.
I love it. Now we were talking briefly about videos before too. The videos are great. The production's great. They remind me of when videos were really fun. I love when a band puts effort into videos. There was a disclaimer before one of them that I was watching today that no one was actually hurt, and it's just I love when bands go the extra mile. Are any of you horror fans?
Our guitar player Travis is kind of a horror fan.
And is he more who's the video? Like, is there someone that just sinks their teeth into the video treatments, ideas?
It's a little bit of all of us.
Yeah. A lot of it's I'll have like really dumb ideas, and sometimes they'll pass through the ranks and then actually happen. Like, we sat for the drowning video we put out, the swimming one. We sat and we're like, what can we do? I don't want to do like cool performance, like underwater shots. And we were like, oh, at first it started as why don't we remake the scene from The Sandlot where they go to the pool,
right?
On the pool honey scene,
yeah.
And then we watched it and we realized there's not kind of enough to chew on in that scene, and then it spawned from a handful of beverages later, into like what if there was like old ladies and we did this and whatever, and then we wrote a treatment and sent it to management, and then it actually happened, and then we're like, wait. We could do whatever we want. So then we did the same thing. It was like, what if we do this cool for Watch Me Burn? It was like, what if we do this like really cool warehouse heavy metal band video? But then we all just start getting hurt and lit on fire and all this stuff. And it was like,
that was the one.
Let's do it. Like, so we kind of just are doing as many dumb ideas. They're not stopping either. There's some people that are really, really enjoying them.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, I hear this song, I get this like deep emotional connection to this song, and then you put out this fucking stupid video, and it ruins it for me. And I'm like, sorry, it just
it ain't gonna stop either. Yeah, there's more of that coming.
I mean, we just put out one not too long ago for our song "Immortal," and we're like zombies, we're like party zombies, and same thing. And it just keeps going.
That's why I was asking if there was someone that was a big horror fan, because it seems like when you
no, they're just like, I mean, Immortal. We're like, what can we do for Immortal? Like. Zombies is cool. Like
zombies partying. Like it just seemed like
what if you came back from the dead immortal. And we're just like living your best life?
Is it you who does all lyrics, or is it?
It's everybody. Yeah.
So there's one line that I loved. You compared someone's emotions being crushed like a cigarette butt. I forget the line.
Oh, it's in Gone.
Yeah. Do you remember? Do you remember the line? I hope you remember the line.
It's.
I got to get the teleprompter.
What a shame! All your sweet remains are scattered across the room. Cigarettes, cigarettes are now broken wounds.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Crushed cigarette was like,
yeah.
But it was just so tasty, and that's what I find that there's a lot of that going on in the music. Like really, really good. Good lyrical plays, good, I guess, double entendres, as they'd say.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's a lot of hands on deck writing lyrics. It doesn't sound like it would be one idea. And I know for myself, I wrote a couple of records, and I co-wrote lyrics with someone for the first time after doing it myself forever, and the best stuff came out. I've never, do you guys like writing lyrics as a group, or is it?
Well, we kind of got to a point in our band where
was there ever a point where it was like, you're not fucking touching my lyrics, and then
it used to be.
Yeah.
Now I think we've kind of come to a place where we all have like such a immense like mutual respect for each other and each other's talents, and we kind of fully understand. Everyone has brought themselves to the table enough where it's like, I know what you're working with now. Where like before that was maybe not allowed, or like we didn't have that opportunity, and you start to really see where people have these strong suits that they were never showing. So like everyone in the band has a really, really great way with words. Like Porter is shockingly good with like kind of the more poetic side of things. Like everyone really kind of has their thing. Even Travis is like the quiet guy in our band, and he'll be like, what about this? I'll throw out a line and it just like makes your head explode, But I think that collaboration is the best tool
for sure. Yeah,
in music,
but it's really the one that it requires ego deflation.
It does. You have to leave the ego at the door. We've talked about this before in interviews and stuff too, where we're very much a band now that it's like whatever makes a song better is what
for the
stays.
better of the song.
And, we've done stuff where it's like the singing part's cool. Like who's gonna sing it? It's like, all right, well, I'll go in and sing it. Porter go in and sing it. Dan will go in and sing it. It's like, oh, Porter sounded cool for this part.
Yeah.
Like you get the part.
That's
great. You know what I
great.
mean? Like, oh, I want this line. Well, what do we all think? Like everyone thinks that line's cool. Like even when it comes to writing songs, we sit in the room. What's everyone got today? I play an idea. He plays an idea. Everyone goes around the table and we're like, let's pick that one. Like there's no.
It's good.
And not even that the rest of those don't get used too. Like if it's somebody comes in, we have eight ideas between like 5 people, whatever. It might be like, oh, we like that one. Oh, we like that one too. Oh, we like that one. Which one you want to start with? It's like, well, okay, well, let's do this one. When we're done, then let's go and use this one next, and we'll go through. And because we just never run out of material. I mean,
that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, this last record we ended up writing.
The producer told us to stop.
Yeah, I think we got up to about 25 songs, and we were like coming in to write some more, and he's like, no more. Stop.
You need to whittle this down.
Yeah.
You got plenty, and it makes it fun. It makes it easy too. So we're never coming to a record, being like, man, I don't got anything. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Guys, I really, really appreciate you taking the time. I'm not going to keep you much longer. We have a show tonight, but continued success. Keep kicking ass. I love where this band seems to be. You guys seem to be in a really good place where you're just having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice place to be when you get a little bit on in the 21
years next year.
Yeah, I was going to say 25 and then 21 since the first record. So that's a good place to be like, hey man, let's enjoy this, because a lot of bands have to break up, go away, and come back to enjoy that. And it seems like you guys are on a place where you've been able to kind of keep a good motion going and seem to be having a good time and still writing good music. So
thank you, man. Yeah, I think all of the sort of hurdles we've jumped over throughout the years have led us to a place to like really appreciate what this is. Like, this is the coolest fucking job in the world.
Right, man.
Like, so it's like we're still here and people still come see it and they still listen and we still it's like that's not lost on us, and I think it shows with everything that we do.
Yeah, love it.
Cool.
Can't get enough of it.
Awesome. How do you feel after holding that phone for fucking half an hour?
Maybe perhaps with the sake of your name, sake of your band, you'll appreciate the reference. I felt like my horse was drowning slowly.
Full Artex and the swamp
Artex.
vibes.
I love it.
And just to say, once we did cut the camera and stuff, like, I made that little reference. It's interesting how bands, like, they're called Atreyu. So, like, man, you must be the biggest Never-Ending Story fans in the world. But that's not usually the case with people that name their bands. Like, look at Fall Out Boy. The Fall Out Boy, I'm sure they like The Simpsons, but I'm sure they didn't watch the Radioactive episode until they were, like, blue in the face.
No. It's just
the Billy Talent, I think they're named, I think their manager named them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So therefore, I think I should call myself Kardashian episodes because I really haven't seen any of them.
Right. There you go. Kardashian episodes.
I really like this chat in a sense where we only used one camera because the other camera wasn't working.
Yeah.
So we just went for it. And
that Pixel 7, man.
Yeah, it's a great phone. It's a great camera. I just like to say, because despite the way I carry myself, I am kind of a perfectionist when it comes to projects we do. And I always like it when things go well. So there's this little part of me the entire time we were taping that interview that was dying inside that it was only going to be one camera. And I'm really glad it turned out the way it did, because it's actually so much more of a unique experience that it was just one camera. And as a result, it's almost a POV of the tour bus experience they're having in a conversation where you're just listening to some interesting people have a chat. And I love that. And the footage turned out great. But but there's this little part of me that's always like thinking, fuck, I wish it worked out. Fuck, I wish it worked out. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the entire Rockman Power Hour team and Renee from the Standstills had this crazy experience where we saw this amazing concert with Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie, Ministry, and Filter. Yeah. My God, Filter kicked ass. It was like this amazing night, which would tire any human being out, especially considering the length that we traveled in as early as we did. But then that wasn't enough. We had to go to Ottawa and then work Ottawa Comic Con for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
So by the time we shot Atreyu, which was about a day after we got back, I was a corpse that could speak.
I think it was a day after we got back. It was the next day.
Yeah. The next day. And it, so the entire time I'm like thinking, oh God. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm amazed I could even dress myself that day. So, whatever.
But it was a really, really fun chat. And man, I love those guys. Just nice people. And just, they get it. They get it. And it's fun when you can talk to a band that is out there making it happen, that is still very, very cognizant of where they're at, but not afraid to shoot for the stars, if you will. And they're doing. That Corona was packed for that show. You could. Yeah. I think when I got off the bus, I was talking to the tour manager as he was walking us back around, and he said that there was 26 tickets left. Wow. 26 tickets left. Because tour managers will have like the exact count. They're like, well, we got 50 left, 50 tickets left, or we're at 850 pre-sale. We've got, the cap is 920, so we've got 70 tickets left. 70 tickets left if you're going to play a show for a walk-up is very healthy, and there's 26 tickets left when we were leaving at 6:30 or 6:45. They would just open the door. So yeah, man, they're killing it. So hats off to Atreyu, and thank you to both those guys for joining us. That was a lot of fun. Ryan, we have something super cool coming up that I don't want to give away, but we're going to be chatting with someone that's going to blow your mind. And I don't want to give anything away, but I just want to let people know that there's one conversation that's coming up that Ryan's going to be a part of for sure, because there's no way I can do it without him. And I think it's going to knock people on their socks.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why
the entire audience, we're all on the same page.
Yes. Yeah.
As it stands right now.
I'm going to tell you, I'll give you a small hint. Okay.
Okay. Oh God, I hope I got this right.
Mark Wahlberg. I'll give you Mark Wahlberg.
Is not who we're talking to though, right?
No, we're not talking Mark Wahlberg. Here, I'll give you 2 hints. Three hints. Mark Wahlberg. Dive bars.
And
landing your dream job. Okay, but that'll give the people a small hint if you're listening. So
Okay,
don't want to
I
tell,
got you.
don't want to give anything
I
away.
got you.
And
Yeah.
leave a comment below if you think you know who we're talking about. We'd love
All
it.
right, so the teases are Mark Wahlberg, dive bars, and landing your dream job.
Yeah, those are the three teases for one of our upcoming guests that's coming up. So that's it. Thank you to Heartbeat Hot Sauce, the heartbeat of the Rockman Power Hour. Use our promo code Rockman20 right below here. Oh man, I actually dropped sauce there. And
God, you're in front of your computer too.
You'll get 20% off your entire order. And thank you to Studio House Designs for always making us look fresh. And thank you to my co-host Ryan Stick.
Never do that again.
I won't. Thank you to our producer Julia Kajurski, and thanks to all of you for joining us on this journey. Please like, subscribe, and hit the alert button, and it'll give you all the fun that is ensuing here on the Rockman Power Hour. We'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for supporting the Rockman Power Hour. We're almost 2 years strong, and we absolutely couldn't do this without your support. So make sure you click on one of these links to find our entire playlist of episodes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, right over there, hit it, and you won't miss anything.